Welcome to Strictly Business. This morning we're going over some of the challenges nonprofits face. But first, Matt Piper has a look at today's top business headlines. Well, apparently Matt is holding a wildcat strike, so we won't get to Matt right now, but we are going to get to that nonprofit talk. So when it comes to long-term sustainability, nonprofits often face numerous challenges. Fortunately, action is being taken in Metro Detroit to help. So this morning we're joined by CEO of Black Leaders Detroit, Dwan Dandridge, Executive Director of Figure Skating in Detroit, Lori Ward, and CEO of the Lee Group, Mark S. Lee. Thank you all for coming in this morning. Really appreciate that. So, Dwan, let's start with you. Talk about Black Leaders Detroit, the community you serve, and what you're doing in that community.
So we are a nonprofit that services the black entrepreneurs operating in the city of Detroit. So what we do is we provide funding, and we do that primarily through grants and a no-interest loan. We service the for-profit and nonprofit sector alike.
A lot of people to service in that sector, I'm assuming.
No doubt.
No doubt, indeed.
Yeah.
So, Lori, tell us about Figure Skating Detroit.
Yeah, so Figure Skating in Detroit is an all-year-round youth development program for girls, but we also work with boys through our skating clinics with Detroit Public Schools. We just joined partnerships with Jack and Jill and Girl Scouts, but the name's a little misleading. We definitely prepare our youth for post-secondary success, college career readiness. We have a garden. We do a lot of things in the community, so we're really about community impact and servicing our youth and their families.
So how did it all start off? Did it start off with the figure skating? What's that name kind of like signify?
Great question. So we're the first and only chapter of figure skating in Harlem. And 27 years ago, our founders started just working with girls on the ice. And then it developed into a full on-out youth development program. So the academics definitely are the foundation. That's our foundation, and the skating is the carrot. That's how we get our youth, interested, and seeing our young girls of color, youth of color on that ice is an amazing thing, and they don't have access to it. Definitely a marginalized community, and so we make something that was pretty, inaccessible, unaccessible rather. Very expensive. And so we're able to do this as a nonprofit to make sure all of our youth that want to get out there on the ice, want to learn, get an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, it's such a great program. Like I say, you dangle the carrot and then you slip the education in there, and it's become such a main part of that as well.
Yes.
Mark, Lori mentioned the nonprofit. Obviously, that's a nonprofit. Talk about some of the challenges nonprofits face in, the business environment.
Yeah, I think, first of all, we congratulate you, Lori, for doing a great job and getting back into the community. Some of the challenges that nonprofits are having, quite frankly, funding. And we have limited resources. When I say we, talk generically, the dollars are getting tight. And you're also talking about having long-term sustainability. The competition continues to intensify. There are limited dollars out there. So nonprofits, the work continues. The City of Detroit, for example, we have a lot of people in need. They need support. The problem is, the issue is, where do you get the funding? So funding is always the #1 issue.
Okay, so I got to follow up, Mark. You just said, where do you get the funding? You're a business mind. How do you procure more of that money for nonprofits?
You got to have relationships. You have to continue to build on relationships. You got to make sure you get out there and talk to organizations. You need to make sure that you get out there and apply for grants. Grant funding is important. Don't worry about loans. Loans you have to pay back if you go to a financial institution. But grants you don't have to pay back. So make sure you have a relationship with someone that has accessibility to grants. No question about it.
And Dwan, how do you help fund black community through nonprofits?
So we do that by doing exactly what Mark said. We go out and find the relationships that are looking to support black entrepreneurs specifically. And one of the things that we're doing for Black History Month is we're celebrating it by providing grants to black-led nonprofits. So we're donating $100,000 to 20 black-led nonprofits in $5,000 increments. And today, we're going to be providing figure skating in Detroit.
Well, let's bring in
a $5,000 grant.
Dwan, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's Sandra's bringing in the large check. There you go, Lori.
Thank you so much.
Lori, when you get a $5,000 check like this for figure skating in Detroit, how does that make you feel?
This is just tremendous. Again, the plight of the nonprofit, we're always looking for, not only, grants, we're asking for sponsorships. So something like this for our girls would mean, getting girls off the waiting list, providing them with their, skates and skating equipment. We make sure our youth have a first-class experience. So their skates are custom fit, their practice uniforms, their show costumes for our annual spring show. This kind of support will help us. It will help us with our, trips to college tours, our, getting the kids out, in the community, seeing, learning, doing. We have a garden on the east side of Detroit. This will help with that. So. Amazing. Thank you so much.
This is a great example of someone giving back to the community. Historically, we have relied on foundations, right? Business foundations. Those dollars are drying up as well. When I mean drying up, again, limited resources, but the need is still there. Well, you deserve this. Congratulations. And this is the organization that's been working so hard to help the young people in Detroit. DeJuan, congratulations.
No doubt. I mean, to that point,
so
one of the ways that we identify the Lories and the figure skatings of Detroit is we invite our members to nominate them. So it was a community is seeing what Lori's doing that nominated her and suggested that we provide a grant for him. So to become a member, you can be a funder by donating $1 a week to Black Leaders Detroit. You can do that by going to blackleadersdetroit.org. So we welcome your viewers to join us in this effort to make sure they're getting funding.
$1 a week, that's all it takes?
$1 a week.
Yeah, that's a pretty low entry point.
Yeah, I think that's pretty low. I think we can all somehow contribute $1 a week to it. We'll have a level of success like this.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Lori, tell us, if people want to get involved in figure skating in Detroit, where do they go? How do they do it?
So they can go to our website, which is figureskatingindetroit.org. They can reach out to me at lward@figureskatingindetroit.org. We skate out of our home rink is the Jack Adams Memorial Rink in the Adams Butzel Complex in the city of Detroit. We run our academic program out of the school at Marygrove, which is a Detroit Public School Community District school. And so lots of ways to find us. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We're out there, and we're creating impact. And we want our youth to be the next leaders in the city of Detroit. And this kind of opportunity and support will help make that happen.
How many young people are you helping?
We service in a year, calendar year, we service over 250, 300 children. Our signature after school and summer dreams program, those are for the girls, and we have 60 girls. That's our max right now. We do have a waiting list, but about 60 girls for that. And then, like I said, through our partnerships, about 300 youth rather, for the year.
And do I talk about how the community really rallies behind this? I mean, you keep coming up with funds, so the community is really playing an important part in this.
Definitely. I mean, we know that oftentimes the Black nonprofit leader find themselves practitioners, right? So they understand the problem and they have most likely overcome it themselves. They're looking to scale it. They're not always privy to where the funding is, right? Like they know how to solve the problem. So we feel like it's incumbent upon us to rally community members that will join the philanthropic community and make sure that we're taking care of that financial need.
Well, Mark always says it's important to know where to get the money, right?
You got to know where to get the money. Again, build on the relationships. Don't be afraid to ask, because at the end of the day, these nonprofits are working hard. They need the resources. And I would encourage anyone out there tuning in, please just make a donation to any nonprofit to provide a level of support for our city and its youth.
For sure. Lori, you're doing great work. DeJuan, you're doing great work as well.
Thanks.
Mark,
Appreciate you.
always nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for
Thank
dropping
you.
by this morning. And that's such a great moment to get that $5,000 for figure skating in Detroit.